Hey everyone, Andrew here. Going to give you a quick walkthrough of what you can expect when you subscribe to our pristinecapital.net research notes. Now, to take a step back, I've been trading for over 10 years now. I have a background in institutional trading on Vanguard's fixed income desk. I did prop trading of stock and options for a few years, and now I am full-time trading, competing in the US Investing Championship, and writing this newsletter. And now we just introduced our trading view tools as well. So essentially, I'm all in on the markets. And these evening research notes, this is me doing my nightly homework. So I'm not really holding anything back. What you're reading is exactly what I'm seeing and my notes that are helping me prepare for each and every trading session. So if you look at the top of the note, this was from August 26th. I always include a short little message for you. If I have created additional resources, like you can see here, I created a short video on how I use yearly value arrays in my trading. I've gotten so much feedback over the years that in addition to the research notes, people want to see how I trade and get more detail on my process. So John and I, who started working on the newsletter with me, and he's been helping me with the trading view tools as well, we've been working on a lot more educational resources, and you'll see those appear at the top. I always try to make the thumbnail either something topical, something funny, and those are generated via our AI tools. Then this is the free section up at the top. And really what I'm trying to do in the free section is say you're an investment professional, but you're not a full-time trader, or you're not a swing trader, position trader, you're not super active, but say you work in the business world and you want to know what's going on in the market, this top section is perfect. So this here is a heat map where I'm just looking at everything that's happening in the S&P 500 for that day. At the end of each day, I always take a look at this and I try to just pick out where is their relative strength, is there anything unusual? And in this bullet point, that's really what I'm writing. Like you can see here, I wrote that the industrials were showing relative strength on this particular trading session. Then this next snapshot, this is one of our Pristine Trading View tools, and these are dashboards I've been leveraging for years now. There's a lot more detail. We have educational resources on this tool specifically, but I'm trying to spot rotations in the market and again, find out where there's relative strength. Like you can see on this particular research note, I noted that, hey, the Russell 2000 was showing relative strength versus the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. And then I also noted this Bitcoin relative strength as well. And we have all the analytics that, I'm looking at every day. Again, this is my nightly homework. Then you can see on this section, we're seeing the breadth of the equity market on that particular day. You can see there was mixed breadth, which for me, if you go from an environment where the market's ripping really hard and there's always really strong breadth, like 90% advancers, 80% advancers, and then you start going to an environment where you're seeing back-to-back days of mixed breadth, usually that's a signal to me that it's time to be a little bit more cautious. And really, it's just showing me that if I were to throw a dart at a random stock, only 53.1% of stocks went up. So my odds of winning on new long trades is a little bit lower. So I try to be more conservative when I see that the breadth is mixed. This is our pristine breadth indicator. It's completely free. Even if you're a free subscriber to the newsletter, you can get it. So definitely check out our documentation on this one as well. This is our sector map. Again, shout out tools.pristinecapital.net. My partner John and I worked really hard on these. But yeah, this is a dashboard. This used to live in Excel, and then I got a lot of comments. People like these visuals. So using those tools, you could generate this yourself. But yeah, you can see here really what we're doing. This is sorted from the best performance to the worst performance. And again, all we're trying to do is spot out, hey, where is the relative strength in the market? What's happening? It's really what I do on a night to night basis in terms of just analyzing the market. I'm trying to get a good feel for what's currently happening, not necessarily, taking some big, macro thesis into the future, that sort of stuff. And you can see this is topical. If you've been following my stuff, if you're a premium member, you know that I'm pretty much all in on the MSOS ETF right now. And this is just an update on that. If there's anything really topical in the news, anything that I just think is important for a market practitioner to be looking at, I always share it in these research notes. And then this is our index price returns module. So this, sometimes I share year-to-date performance, other times month-to-date. And the reason why I love looking at this every single night is because I notice a lot of traders have really unrealistic expectations for just how much money they can pull out of the market when it's actually very highly dependent on what these indices are doing. Like I look, 2023 was like an up 20 or 30% year for the S&P 500. 2024 was the same deal. So far in 2025, the S&P is up, pretty close to 10%. So the rate of ascent is much, much slower. So this is really just to help me understand, hey, am I doing okay in this market? Am I struggling or am I really outperforming? Then in terms of news flow, every day I'm looking at what's changing in the world, what's happening. Because in my pursuit of alpha, really what I'm dependent on is things changing. When things are just staying the same and it's all status quo and there's no big ripples, to me, that's an environment where there might not be as much alpha. So anything that's big that changed in the world, I'm trying to highlight for you here. So these are snapshots. Primarily, I get these from news sources like Bloomberg, Financial Times. Sometimes I pull stuff from Zero Hedge, sometimes TechCrunch, everywhere. I try to read a lot of good publications and I really just share little snippets from those. The other key thing, a lot of times I'm pulling these from Bloomberg. There are so many institutional readers of Bloomberg, people that were on big trading desks like I was on. So even if you're not going to necessarily trade off of this information, which I typically don't, it's good to understand what are these big institutional investors seeing? What are they reading? And this module is giving you an insight into that. Then this next section is our trading view indicators section. You can see you can grab that pristine volume indicator right here and also the pristine breadth indicator we chatted about earlier. This is a video unboxing the indicators. And then if you click this button, you can go ahead and purchase the indicators. And yeah, that indicator set, we keep trying to make it better. I think it's super valuable and yeah, definitely check it out. Then we have here economic calendar. The econ data can be bond market moving. It can move the FX market, and in turn, it can move the equity market. So I always want to stay up to date on what is going on in that world. And it's important to me, like if I'm going to place a trade, let's say it's like 10 o'clock, but there's a macro number that's going to come out at that same time. This is just something you want to be cognizant of, which is why I always put this out here for subscribers. Then I think it's super important. People pay me money for my market insight. People pay me money for my trading tools. It's just super important to me that I'm sharing my track record and just showing people like this is real what we're doing here. Like so yeah, this is my results the past couple of years in the US Investing Championship. We'll see how we do for the rest of 2025. Then once you get into the premium content,